Yes, people, welcome back to DadPod, and it is Father's Day edition. Woo. So what we're going to be...
I don't know why I did that.
Yes, somebody's clearly excited for Father's Day. Hopefully you get a lion in that.
He's going to get them new socks he's been waiting all year for.
Definitely not getting a lion.
Yes, people, welcome back to DadPod, where we talk about parenting, being a dad, and everything in between. My name is NT.
I'm Chris.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Will.
Yeah, so let's get into it, man. Father's Day.
Yeah, man.
What are we going to be thankful for this time? Even though it's not Thanksgiving, but yeah.
I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be, for being fathers for a start and everything.
Yeah.
As well as our own.
Yeah,
Definitely,
true.
To be
Yeah.
honest.
Do you know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful for how my kids are growing up and like how proud they make me when they're like when they achieve stuff and like just the way that they are as kids. Yeah. I couldn't be prouder, man. Couldn't be prouder.
Just seeing them grow as people.
There's people,
developing their personality.
Exactly,
Yeah,
It's
and
nice.
I'm thankful the kids are home this year. Like,
Yeah, man.
Quality.
Big.
That's big for you, man. That's quality.
It's the third that they've been alive for, but the fourth that I knew I was becoming a parent, and I've celebrated not one Father's Day.
Yeah.
Do you know, I live it up this
mad.
time, man.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Because
I want that lion.
you've
I want a
gone
full
through
breakfast.
loads this year.
You're not getting a lion. No one's getting a lion.
No
I
one's
don't
getting
know
a
why
lion.
you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, I'm lying. I literally am, innit?
This is a podcast of truth, man.
Straight up podcast of truth.
It's always worth a try, though, isn't it? Try and get that
It's
extra
worth a try. It ain't happening.
Yeah,
I
you
got
can
10
try.
minutes extra in bed, though. So that's the
7
main
o'clock's a lion these
Yeah,
days.
no, literally it is. I said to the missus, I'm going to have a lion on the weekend. I feel like she's cheated me because I have the lion on Sunday so she can have it on Saturday. And Sunday, the boys are active. I don't know what it is, but we have about 10 things we have to do a day on a Sunday. So it's like all of a sudden, Saturdays we don't do anything. Sundays we're full of things we're doing. And I'm like, I feel like
Got to get
this
it
is deliberate.
get
Do you
it
know
in
what?
before the,
Do you know
the
what?
week.
My missus has kind of skanks me with it as well. Come to think of it, so like usually I get the Saturday lion and she gets the Sunday lion, but on the Saturday my eldest son has football and it starts at 9 o'clock.
Oh, so you got to be up
No,
anyway.
So I've got to be up at like 8 anyway.
You've been done there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have. Literally.
yeah. She's had me, man. She's had me. Oh well, it is what it is.
But, how was Father's Day for you guys as kids when you was celebrating your dads?
I don't really remember. Like,
Yeah, I don't
Father's Day
remember it really.
too much. But obviously got loads of memories of my dad. Like my core memories of my dad is like him taking me to football, like up and down the country, all the time. Like loved having him there when I'm playing football. Like you know yourself. Like I played football consistently since I was like 8 years old. Like as much as I can, and my dad was at every single game, and it's just like the commitment. Like looking back, the commitment.
Even when we played together in our like mid to late 20s, he was
there.
always at the games. Yeah, always there.
Yeah, he only stopped coming when he got ill. So that was. It was hard to adjust to. Like even like I mean, we got into my 30s, and I'm like I want my dad there to watch me. 30-year-old man, I still want
Kicking
my
off
dad
because
there.
your dad's the only one that's not turned up.
That's it.
I don't really remember Father's Day and that much myself when I was younger and stuff, but I kind of. When I was a teenager, me and my dad kind of drifted apart a little bit because for some reason I thought I was a big man and knew everything.
Everyone does.
So we used to clash heads a lot. But
Part of being a teenager.
yeah. But now when I got older, and especially when I had kids, I really do appreciate him more now than I did before, and it's made me realize like how much he sacrificed for like me and my two sisters when we were younger. Because when I was like, I I'd say between 9 and 11. There was a period where I didn't used to see him that much because he used to work away a lot. So he was working down in London and stuff like that. And I only used to see him on the weekends. And he'd still like try and spend time with me, but like you could tell that he was like knackered like from the week and stuff. And I feel like my dad kind of had it a little bit hard trying to be a dad. The reason being is my granddad and him didn't have the best relationship. So my dad was raised by his nan in Jamaica when his mum and dad moved over to England. So he was raised in Jamaica by my great nan up until he was 16. Wow. And then when he was 16, he came over. So obviously there's all of his young life, he didn't really see or build a relationship with his parents that way. When he come over, it was kind of like playing catch up. And at that point, they had split up. So my granddad had another family, and then my nan had like kids with another man. So he's come in. They're not together anymore, so he's having to develop a relationship with both of them, kind of separately. Yeah, and also getting to know his brothers and sisters. Yeah. So I know, like when you're a dad and stuff, you kind of learning it as you go along anyway. But you do have like a reference point from your own father. But because growing up, he didn't have that. I think he was. He had to figure it out himself. Yeah. So I do appreciate like the effort and like how much he put into like being a good dad. Yeah, I do appreciate that even more like the older I'm getting and like how I see him with like my sons and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
That's quality,
man. Yeah. You know what? Fair play, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it out there because like my dad's not really one to like show his emotions as like men from his generation are.
Just solid.
Yeah. So like
my dad's a lot like that.
Yeah. So like serious conversations like that you have with them, they are like kind of short and sweet.
Yeah. Just quick and.
Yeah, so I just wanted to like kind of put it out there and express that. So if he ever does watch this, I want him to know that like I really do appreciate him and like appreciate everything that he's done for me in the past, present, and future.
Yeah, man, that's big. That's big.
It's quality.
Yeah, man.
Bob's.
So, my dad. I've kind of similar to Natty in that I've probably learnt more about him as I'm older, and especially since he passed.
Yeah.
Like thinking back, being reflective about everything and like even some of the memories and relating it to how I'm a parent now. The thing I always remember is just how much he just always like fought for us. Like always did his best for us, would sacrifice anything to kind of make sure we're okay. But not even just us really, for other people. Like he'd always try and do everything for people, like even though he didn't have much himself. But I've always respected him for that, and I think that probably comes from my nan. Actually, I think my granddad is very much like a man's man, if you like.
Yeah.
But then my nan was so like openly loving that it's infectious. Like, so I think he kind of got a bit of a mix of both.
Yeah.
As I got older, I mean, when I was younger, I used to look at him and think like, oh, he's got his life together, and I want to be an adult like that one day. And like I'm at that age now, I'm literally just winging it. But and then he probably must have thought the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, I don't know what to do about this. Like, but he just did it. He did what he could. Like, and as the older I got, the more my dad was actually quite open with me. Like, I think I think it's I always remember one conversation that as I was a bit older. He spoke openly the one day about like the whole breakup with my mum and stuff, and like he was like very open about how like he felt and how he really struggled after it and that kind of stuff.
That must have been quite hard for him hard of a conversation for him to have with like his son.
I don't know, because I think when we lived together, like as I got older, we just didn't get on. We just couldn't get, like couldn't live in the same house. We clashed too much.
Two lions can't roam in the same pack, can they?
Yeah,
they've got to
essentially.
find their own at some point.
But then we sort of like after a while, it was almost like we become best mates, and like we'd just talk about everything. Like even stuff that didn't matter, we'd just chat about it for ages. Like, so those conversations like occasionally just came in out of nowhere. Like, so then obviously you're not gonna, of course you're gonna listen. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that itself sort of is like made me more aware of like being open about how I feel. So I'm quite like I'm an open book, as you guys know. Like I will just quite comfortably talk. There's
quite a reoccurring theme with your dad when you like tell us stories about him and stuff. He always seemed to like teach you lessons without trying to teach you lessons.
Yeah.
He kind of directed you into letting life just teach you and getting your own wisdom from your own actions as well.
Like he'd drop little gems and then it would be like a light switch just comes on in your head.
And those
I think it helps that you're really intuitive as well. Like you're able to catch onto them quicker than other people. 'Cause I think my dad's probably done something similar, like tried to drop little gems, but
10 years later you're like,
that's what you meant.
I still don't know though, like if he realises he was doing that. Maybe partly he's thinking he needs to know this, or but I think those conversations did just sort of happen, like the open conversations. Like, I think they just happened, and then obviously then like it's a very strange thing to say, because I think grief does affect people in different ways, but like I've accepted his passing, and I've learnt so much from him from his death as well. That like about life, to live life myself, and then to try and make sure that I do everything I can for myself as well as my kids. Because there's a lot of things he sacrificed a hell of a lot, and probably more than he should have. And I want to try and find a balance of making sure that I'm okay, so I can be the best dad I can be. But then obviously I've got to make sure that obviously I'm looking after my kids. But so it's, I don't know, it's quite, as the years go by, like he says, those switches, they still keep happening. I think, oh my God, like I remember having a conversation about this sort of thing. I miss being able to have those conversations with him, because like the conversations, it was always, we could agree or disagree on something, and it didn't matter. We'd still always talk about the other perspective as well. And that always taught me to kind of look at everything from all angles if I can, to try and understand and reflect. And even like, not even just to change my opinion, but to even reinforce my opinion. Because I've looked at it in every way and then consolidate what I actually do believe, sort of thing. But so, you know, and he's like his wisdom and the way he approaches life passes on even to the kids I work with now. Because like they say, you know, oh, I'm not going to get my GCSEs or whatever. And I do say to them, like, look, you're here, so you might as well try. But it's not the end of the world. My dad started university at 50, like in his 50s.
Yeah, it's never too late, man.
And then he ended up with
there's a big man over there.
Yeah, we have our first special guest on DadPod. And there he is.
Hold him up a second, Bob, because at the moment there's just glare all over that glass. So you have to hold up the photo, so people can see, because at the moment all they can see is a glare. They can't actually see. Yeah. There we are. That's the
can
one.
Have it on screen as well.
Gives a big smile with him.
Proud day.
So like obviously, and you know, that's in his 50s with everything that he had going on, like having to come out of work, dealing with depression, losing the house that he had. He lost his house. Yeah, he's a great man for his mistakes as well as everything he got right. But I do also have to give a shout out to my mum's boyfriend, who might as well be my stepdad. He's a brilliant guy as well, and he's absolutely amazing with my girls. Big shout out to Mark as well.
Yeah, the older I'm getting, the more I realise that like you do have one like true dad, but you do have more than one.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's like men that come into your life that teach you things that, even if it's just a different perspective from what your father's teaching you.
Yeah, like my Uncle Ray was like massive inspiration for me, like massive role in my life. I absolutely gutted when he passed. You remember like
I was with you on the day you found out.
Yeah, we're down in Canterbury, weren't we? At a gig?
Yeah, crazy story happened that day, but that's
that's
a story for another episode. Yeah, man.
But yeah, no, it's good. Like I feel like I'm kind of mourning my dad in a way, even though he's still alive. But like because he's got Parkinson's disease, and like he's developing a lot of sort of dementia's coming along with it. So there's flashes where he's there and he's like my dad, but there's a lot of times where like
doesn't feel like he's present.
Yeah, and I've kind of had to, for years now, like had to sort of mourn him in a way. I'd like it sounds like really horrible to say, and like I hate sort of feeling like it, but it's the truth. And like I know I'm going to be distraught when he actually does pass. Yeah. But I think what that experience is teaching me is not to take things for granted. Like my experience with my son on early doors, like having that breakup as well has taught me never take things for granted. This experience with my dad as well, it's just like you cannot take life for granted.
No, enjoy the moments.
Be present in the moment.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel guilty though for feeling that way that you do now, because again, like with my dad, it was a process of him passing, and like you are mourning kind of who they were, so you're sort of readying yourself for it.
Yeah,
like, and it's
that's exactly what it is. I'm trying to sort of put that thick skin,
but that's
like it protects me.
But the thing, like you can drop that because you loved the person he is in it, and
he's my hero.
So now,
he's always been my hero. I've always said it,
and that will never change.
No.
So we gotta do that. All you have to do now. Don't put the thick skin up, Matt. Most of it.
Yeah, 100%. Like for me with my dad, I did the reverse. I mourned him like 5-6 years after he was gone, because obviously I was 7, but literally 6 days ago was my birthday before he passed. So I was like, I was just 7. I weren't even far into 7. And we kind of knew he was going, but I didn't, because it was explained to me he had cancer for the third time now. So
I suppose at that age you don't really get the impact of like what's coming really, because
I wasn't told anything about him having cancer. So I think I was 4 when he got it again. So he already had it twice before I was born, and then I was born. And I feel like he knew he wasn't going to have long with me, because in that short 7 years he dropped some gems on me that like I'm having moments now as an adult. I'm like, I'm having a flashback, and I'm like, so that's what that meant. I get it now.
At that age, it just flew over your head.
At the age of 4 or 5, him trying to drop wisdom on a 4 or 5-year-old, it's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I used to believe that brown bread was chocolate bread. So that's how. You know what I'm saying? That's a story with him as well.
That's like, a 2 weeks ago.
I've only just found out. But like, I realised, I feel like he knew he was going at some point. And what made him know that was because he already had cancer twice. He was 54 when I was born, so he was a very late dad with me. And I think he just knew he wasn't making it far. He died at 62, 63, somewhere around, I think just before his 63rd birthday, so around 62, 63. But I didn't mourn him until I was like 12, 13. And I think it was... mourning anyone's hard, and bereavement and getting over someone passing, well, not even getting over, coming to terms with it, because you never get over it. And I say this all the time, people need to stop saying, oh, you'll get over it. No, you'll come to terms with it is the better way to
It's acceptance.
You never get over it. My dad's been dead 16 years. It still feels like yesterday some days, and I still cry about it now, 16 years down the line.
It's like having a scar, though. It's
never going to go.
Time heals it, but it's always there.
Yeah, it's always there. So, but it took me longer to come to terms with it, and it had a detrimental effect on me in life itself, because of the stages I was going through, preteen stage, 12 to 13.
Did you feel
obviously,
at that stage that like that's where
that's when
I really
I
needed him?
That's what
Yeah.
it was. That's when I started. I think that's why I started to mourn him at that point,
Yeah.
rather than earlier on or later on. I think it's because that's the stage where I really needed Dad. Things are changing
Yeah.
in my life. Mom's struggling financially. I want to help Mom out, but I don't know how to.
Yeah.
I want to be a man. But
You don't
I
understand your own feelings.
This is the thing.
and
I
that,
don't know how to
and
be a man because I've got no. I grew up with my brothers, who two of them their mental age was lower than mine, and my twin brother, and my mom and my sister. So I
Yeah.
never had men, so to speak. So I'm like, how do I become a man? But one thing I got to always give my dad, and I always say it to this day. My mom and dad had split up when I was 2, and my mom chose to take me, my brothers, and one of my sisters, and my dad had the more complicated siblings who had more complex like additional needs and stuff to make it easier for my mom because she's decided she's taking the bulk of us. There's 9 of us, so she's chose to take the bulk. He's took the more difficult, but he always fought to see us, and it's like I can recall times, as much as they're traumatic times because he was outside my house kicking off. I can recall times where we were supposed to go every Saturday, and my mom, if she had a kick off with him, she wouldn't take us.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, you're not going. Your dad don't want to see you." And I spoke to my mum about this, so I'm all right speaking out loud about it. But he used to damage us, and my dad
Yeah.
would actually turn up to the house. He'd turn up to because we all lived in Allen Rock, and it's
Yeah,
round the corner from each other.
Yeah.
So he'd just turn up, and he wouldn't stop fighting. He never stopped fighting. I found out he was actually taking my mum to court before he became ill.
Fair play.
And he was
Yeah.
ill while I was trying to do the whole proceeds, and I'm like, as
Yeah.
a dad who's been through court,
Yeah.
it takes a lot for a man in full health to be going through the court. And
Yeah,
the
it's
mental,
one of the worst
physical,
experiences of
it's-
my life. I
it's not
absolutely
something-
hated it. And
this is what I
it's such
say.
a mental drain, isn't it?
It's crazy.
horrible.
The court system is crazy. I've never won
To do that while he's got cancer and that
exactly
as well.
while he's
that's
suffering
mad.
with cancer. Bearing in mind what I've always loved about my dad as well is he was always able to provide. Like he always said, and this is why I think I'm so business minded and financially minded, because he broke his back at 54 and was retired at 52 or 53 and was retired by the time I was born. It says it on like my birth certificate, retired. But he had multiple streams of income, so we had everything we ever needed. Never did we go without anything when he was around. So those are just like the sort of things I remember from my dad was he'd drop little gems on me throughout.
Yeah.
So like stuff like those who don't hear must feel. That was one of his favourite sayings. I never used to understand it.
Wow, that just gave me so many flashbacks. that saying.
The amount of times your dad probably said that to you.
Yeah, my
If you
dad
don't hear,
and
you're
mum,
gonna
man.
feel.
Yeah, it's a
Just before you get that backhand.
very common saying
then
in
you
my
hear the bell.
household.
Don't you don't hear, must feel.
Oh my days.
There's something I gotta say though, like I feel like I need to say it to you, and that is that. So, obviously, there's no two ways about it. It's not nice that you, in those years where you felt like you needed your dad, you had to sort of find your own way.
Yeah.
But your boys are now lucky that you had that experience, because they will probably gain more from that. Like from an independence point of view, the way you had to do things yourself, you'll probably instill a bit of that into them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
like us three, we couldn't really even come at it from that sort of perspective because we'd got no idea.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So like,
yeah, of course.
so as what you've got through it, and you've done so well, mate. Like all three of us know, like when we first met you, like you were from a very young age, you were just on it, like, getting things done. Like,
yeah.
and you've come so far, and you've done it in your own way as well. So like, your boys are very lucky.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for that, Bobs,
And
honestly.
to be honest, Will, like at your age, the three of us sitting on this couch, I don't think we probably would have been able to do what you've done and what you've
Not a
achieved.
chance.
I was still working in Iron Apple, getting twisted every night, like telling people my name's Chris Brown
You know what?
before the punches.
Yeah, man. So like you should really be proud of yourself, mate.
You know,
And
honestly.
Yeah.
your boys have got a good
I
father.
never
in
look
you.
at it from that perspective because I've
Yeah,
always
man.
just had to soldier on. But
Yeah.
what makes me realise sometimes that I have done quite a bit and achieved a bit is when I look at my peers, so people my age, I can't relate to a lot of them. And I know it's crazy because they're my age. I should be able to relate to them, but I can't because they're just more worried about how much they're getting paid on Friday and how much they can spend going clubbing or what they can, who's going to get the newest car, who's going to get this. And I'll drive around in
you'd
my
rather
van.
be you than...
Yeah, I'd rather be
You've made your own
my
path,
peers.
mate. You've made your own path.
And I think
completely.
that's the only time I actually realise how quick I developed into adulthood and whatnot and dealt with life and tried to secure myself together. And that's the days where I feel like I actually have got my together.
Yeah.
Because other days I'm just like everybody else, man. I'm winging it, man. Like, listen, some months I'm on top of the world, and then other months I'm like, my car's coughing, my boiler's broke, my toilet needs plunging, the kids now need new shoes, and it all comes in one. So
that's it, man. That's it.
Reflecting on our fathers and stuff, like now that you're a father yourself, doesn't it make you realise that how much they were just winging it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because like you can get, even if like our dads were present and stuff like that, and they were able to like give him advice and stuff like that, our dads can do the same for us, or did the same for us when they were here. But no child's the same, for one, and two, like we can't even kind of go back into our childhoods and then try and work out how to raise these children from ours, because they're completely they're growing up in a completely different world.
Different, like when you was kids,
and it's the same for like
Facebook, was it?
Yeah, it's the same for like our parents. Like we grew up in a completely different world than they grew up in.
Yeah.
So I think
my dad was born in World War II and I was born in 2002. So
that's mad.
Wow, that is crazy.
This is what I'm saying. So imagine his upbringing to mine.
Yeah.
And he could be a seasoned pro because he's already got like, I don't know how many kids he had before.
What if he was born in World War II? What generation would he have been?
I don't know. He was born in 45.
Because
so
like
the back end of World War II, but
my parents are boomers.
so he's before a boomer, and is he before or after?
They would be.
Yeah, it would be.
Just slightly just before, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think
after
they're
World War II, won't it?
I just class them as the guys that go, so back in my day during the war. Like, I just class them as that generation because my dad actually, that was one of my dad's actual sayings though, because I used to moan if I weren't getting enough snacks, and I can remember this from a young age. And you know what? As a dad now, I understand my dad telling me I need to start rationing because my snack drawer cost me too much money. But it's like, I'd complain about things and be like, back in my day, I slept in a cabinet with a big mask on and we had tokens for milk powder, not even milk. And I'm like, what you on about, mate? Half a penny and that. I'm like, I don't know what you're on about.
That's like my mum used to say stuff like at Christmas and birthdays and that. Like, at Christmas, all we got was a tangerine and a lump of coal. Like,
Do you know what I think's changed that's good from that time though? Is like, because a lot of that generation say that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's coming from, I think that comes from that whole sort of like man up sort of mentality.
Yeah.
Whereas like these days we'll talk about, you know, like I'll talk to kids and I know you like talk to people and we talk in a relatable way. So like we'll kind of open up a little bit to give a bit or take a bit sort of thing.
There's also, do you know back in my day, and they like try and fix things before getting a new one and stuff. It comes from the situation with like World War II and stuff. So like,
rationing.
Yeah, rationing and like having to make things last and stuff like that because there wasn't much import export anyway, and there wasn't much going around.
Which was my dad's before he passed away. There's still structures in that house that were built by my dad well before I was even born that are standing strong to this day. Yeah. Everything was built to last by that, man. Everything.
Yeah, my mum and dad's house is like pretty much like when they moved in, it was like a shell and it was falling apart. My Uncle Ray came round and apparently I was 6 months old, so I don't remember.
Abracadabra.
But my Uncle Ray came round and called my mum crazy, like, because what the hell are you doing? and my dad like just kitted it out and made it like what it.
But I bet you everything he's put in there still stands strong.
Yeah,
like I remember.
Apart from the bits that he's tinkered with since he's had his Parkinson's, thinking he can still do it.
And now he's doing it backwards.
Like before he went to the care home, like he'd knocked through a wall in the out toilet. he was thinking he was going to put the dishwasher up there in his like crazy mind, but like, yeah.
You know,
Man, he's knocked
Oh,
the wall
my
through,
days.
and it's like drafting. Man,
I think we can all agree though. Like now we're all, I'd say grown up, but we're not grown up. We're all under 40. So
Yeah.
and I'm under 30, just to rub that in a little.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
But now we're all grown up from teenage years, and we're dads as well. I feel like if we weren't dads, we wouldn't be able to relate the way I'm about to say. But I feel like we can relate to our dads and their struggles more. Like I only
Yeah,
knew him for
definitely.
7 years, but a bit like my dad was a local staple. He was a local legend. Like when he passed away, the entire street was feeding my family for like a month, coming
Yeah.
around every evening with dinners and stuff. We grew up in an Asian community. They feed you well in an Asian community,
Yeah.
and they like used to come round, give us food, check on us, make sure everything was good. Anything needs fixing. My mom knew she could go knock on a certain door because my dad used to be that guy for everyone else.
Yeah.
He put up like the basketball ring that we used to go play with this one kid down the road on, and the kid's mom used to always say, don't not let him play because his dad built it. So, and I used to be like, yeah, he did. But it's like, so I think I learned about my dad and his experiences later on through everyone else and my sisters and my brothers and the locals. So I learned his struggles. You guys learnt your dad's struggles and stuff by seeing it and experiencing it. I feel like as parents now though and grown-ups, we can relate a lot more and respect
Yeah,
a lot
definitely.
more what they went through.
a
Like
lot of appreciation, man.
to
Yeah.
even set things up. It's like I said, when my dad had to retire because he broke his back, he still had things set up and gave up a lot of stuff to make sure there was enough money coming in because a pension,
Yeah,
it's nothing.
Yeah.
And so he's making sure there's enough money. To this day, my mum still gets my dad's pension because
Yeah.
of how much businesses he had, which he dissolved every single one of them before his death. And this taught me about, again, another gem I got from my dad was inheritance tax. Put it all into
Yeah.
one thing and hold it for 7 years.
Yeah,
Gift it.
boom.
Happy days. But like, that's what I mean. I respect all of that because that must have been really hard. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have
it
been.
must have been. I don't think I could.
Definitely.
If I retired tomorrow, I'd be screwed.
Yeah,
No, once you reparent yourself, there is a newfound respect for your parents, man.
definitely.
Especially your dad's in certain situations. But yeah, short and sweet one today. We just
Yeah.
wanted to spread some love to all the dads out there.
Happy Father's Day to you all.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
happy
Father's
Father's
Day,
Day to all the
dads.
dads out there.
Yeah.
Hope you get to spend it with all your loved ones and people that you care about.
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
Keep dadding.
Yeah. So, guys, we'll see you in the next episode.